Hi, and welcome to episode 11 of the Aimless Yarn podcast, where two best mates talk about funny and awkward stories from back in the day. Episode 11, Luke. Can you believe it?
I know. Why is it 11 now? Because
Uh,
last time we introduced it as episode 9, didn't we? And I complained about Star Wars.
Yes, that's because you did a bonus episode, if you haven't heard it. Luke decided he was going to do the bonus episode, which is one that we completely reversed.
On the rocks. Yeah. On the rocks. And the reason why I reversed that episode is because it's the one where we talk about reversing words and things like that. So if you listen to it, eventually it gets a bit annoying. But if you listen to it, then the words that we've reversed kind of jump out of. It sounds Japanese, doesn't it?
It does. Japanese and German. We mentioned that on the last one.
Yeah, and then
funny.
But those words just kind of pop out of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, like for instance, Rod fucking Lamburn. That might not mean anything to anyone, but and visitors. That jumps out as well, doesn't it? But if you're listening, you might be wondering why the hell you can hear Luke. This is how Luke's voice actually sounds. Why is that, Luke?
Well, I bought a new microphone and sent the other one back because it was shockingly poor, wasn't it?
It was horrific, mate.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why it didn't work because I was using it correct. It was set up correct, but yeah. So, but anyway, this is miles better.
Yeah, you got a little stand like I've got, haven't you, mate? I noticed.
Yeah,
there's a stand. But yeah, that's good, mate. I'm glad you got that sorted in the end. Because if we had any listeners, then they'd probably all complain.
10 weeks.
Yeah, 10 weeks. It's took us 11 episodes to get the quality right for a change. And something else I've tried as well, folks, today, I've actually plugged directly into my router today via an Ethernet lead. So that should cut down any blips.
Has your broadband been sorted since last week? What happened?
I did a schoolboy error. Right. Well, basically, when I was setting up my cameras, the CCTV cameras work on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So what I had to do, a normal router has got two bands. It's a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz. So I turned the 5 gigahertz off to set my cameras up, but I forgot to turn 5 gigahertz back on, which the majority of my devices use, hence why I had really bad internet. So it was my own fault. So I apologise, BT, for blaming you. It was my fault.
Did you actually get hold of BT and complain to them?
No, I just didn't get around to it in the end, but I kind of figured it out myself, so I didn't need him anyway.
It's all right then.
So there you go. Talking about BT, Luke, they've stuck a fibre node right outside my house, like direct fibre. So I'm buzzing about that. Really buzzing.
So what they're going to do? Just right.
Well,
explain what you mean.
Right. So, how far do you want me to go with this, Luke?
So is it when you mean it's like a cab? They've stuck a cab outside of there.
No. So a fibre node is in the jointing boxes. Outside your house, you've got the pavement boxes, and what they've done is normally they stick DPs in it. There's normally a DP in there, but now they stuck a fibre node in it, which is like an optical DP.
Yeah,
best way I can put it. DP means distribution point. So I'll have direct fibre to my house.
So you can tap into that then, rather than tapping into a
pole, so basically
to a cab or whatever.
Yeah, what you do is, mate, you put an order in. It's not ready yet because I've checked. Believe me, I've been checking nearly every day. But you put an order in, the engineer comes out, he then splices onto that node and then runs a fibre into your house. And then you got direct fibre, mate.
All right, so it's fibre to the house then?
Yeah, fibre to the prem. FTTP.
Nice one.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get on to the episode. So what have you been up to, Luke, this week?
Today, it's World Book Day on Thursday.
World Book Day. Okay.
So what
What's
you're
that
going
all
to do
about?
is, if you've got a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to school or nursery or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then they're supposed to go in with their favourite book,
Yeah.
and then in a costume to do with that book.
Huh.
So Amelie's not in school. She only goes on Mondays and Fridays, but World Book Day is on Thursday, and
Okay.
she's reading the junior novel to Frozen 2.
Okay.
So she's going to be dressed as Elsa from Frozen.
Oh.
At my mum's house, and because the school are doing like a video link up, because all the kids can't be in school, they're doing like a video link up so that they can all join in with the World Book Day thing.
All right.
And they've also put a competition out to say, take a picture of your kid in a strange place reading a book, and then you email it in. And then the judge, they decide which one's the best. You know what I mean? So we took a picture of Amelie in the wardrobe reading a book, reading the Faraway Tree book tonight, and I've emailed it into school. So she's going to be doing that, and then Ethan in nursery, they're doing World Book Day as well. We've got a selection of books for him down here, and usually they're all strewn all over the floor. But he always seems to go to this one little book called Owl Babies.
Okay.
He always goes to get that and brings it and read it to him. So I've got a baby grow, a white baby grow, and I've cut out some like feathers from a sheet, and I'm sewing them on. So I'm making him a little owl baby grow for his nursery thing.
I never knew you could sew, Luke.
Well, not really. I can't really. I'm just kind of winging
21st century dad.
Do you know what I mean? So
that's cool.
Winging
see,
it. Yeah.
I'd probably you know what I'm like with stuff like that. I'd probably get a green screen and like put my kids in, like take a photo of my kid, but then with a favorite book, but then it's like superimpose them onto something like really dangerous, like a railway track.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, part of the write-up was it must be a safe place.
Right. They know then, don't they? Because you could have some fun with that. Top of Empire State Building.
And then I had a power cut this afternoon.
Oh, what? Yeah. Marsden has power.
Marsden, yeah. We do have.
When
power.
Did they get power?
Yeah.
When did they get power?
Were it 2012 or something like that?
Yeah. Because it was candle
Mm.
like you've only just got running water, haven't you? There.
But anyway, so about 12:15, power went off, and I haven't been able to work. So
you're joking. So you were like, yes.
No, and I was thinking, you know, is this podcast going to happen tonight? Because I didn't know how long it was going to go on for. So
oh God, yeah.
But it came on. So 12:15 it went off, and then it came back on at like 5:04.
God, which is been off for ages.
Yeah, I know. Which is 10 minutes before I finished for work.
And well, it would have gets dark about 5:30 now, does it?
No, I don't know what time it gets dark. I'll pick Ethan from nursery about 5:30, and it was still light.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Because if it were much later, then it would have been caused problem. I mean, if you're a real workaholic, Luke, you could have used your phone as a hotspot, couldn't you? But then again, would your laptop battery have lasted 5 hours?
Well, no, it wouldn't. But it would also use my personal phone data, which I'm not prepared to do.
Yeah.
For work.
Sodom. Look, that's what I say.
I don't have a work phone. If I had a work phone, then I'd consider it. But like you say, my laptop would have lasted that long, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm glad, because we wouldn't have been able to have this episode, would we, Luke?
I know, yeah. And I wouldn't even have used my data for that.
Nah, I know you wouldn't. Tight git.
Anyway, tell me about your day.
Week. Well, it's been. Well, you know, last time my back was giving me some problems. Well, it properly broke this time.
Properly broke?
Well, I don't mean like in two, like a contortionist. I mean, it just went, and yeah, I couldn't. I haven't been able to go into work. So, yeah, I've had the last week off. And that's because I had finished fitting Karen's bloody body kit. And I think it's because I was getting into all kinds of weird and wonderful positions. Went to bed that night. Woke up the next morning. I was in agony, mate. I think I trapped a nerve or something. It was bad, mate.
I hope Karen's giving you some sympathy after you're doing all that work for her.
Nah, she don't give me any sympathy. She knows I enjoy doing it, you see. It's my own stupid fault.
So you're doing all that work for it and you break your back and then you don't even get any sympathy for it?
Nah.
Jesus.
That's life, though, isn't it? Yeah, I managed to get that fitted. And before I fitted the kit as well, I managed to sort my CCTV out as well. Because I was having problems with that, wasn't I? So I was doing that. So I managed to get all my cameras working bar one. I'm trying to figure out why that one's not working. I think it's because it's too far away from the router, because the Wi-Fi ones. So I may have a cunning plan. I'm thinking I've got these Wi-Fi extender discs that connect back to your central hub. So I pinched that out of Bailey's room and stuck it just under Grayson's bed, which is right next to where the camera is, but it still didn't work. So I've reset the camera, but now I have to get up my ladder again now and take a picture of the barcode and re-put it in again. But yeah, I'll get around to it.
Anyway,
I'm getting there. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was
what are you talking about?
Well, I just wanted to say spring's here for a start. I took a nice photo today. The daffodils are out. I went for a walk on my lunch break, which I like to do because it keeps my mental health all particularly boo. So I went for my little dinner time walk and noticed the daffodils are out. So spring is here, isn't it? That's
I know. Well, actually, I noticed there's some daffodils growing at the bottom of our garden.
Is there? Did you plant them or did they just?
No, they come every year. I don't know if you noticed that, Claire.
It's like you.
What?
They come once a year, like you.
Yeah, very good. They must have always been here. So
really, I suppose the bulb. Someone else must have planted them because you didn't plant them, did you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they must have always been there. Then
I think so. Yeah, but they're there every year. Yeah. So I noticed them. They haven't obviously come out yet, but
not
I can see them. I can see them growing.
Yeah.
And then we've got an apple. You know what I found out?
Go on.
We're planting an apple tree garden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. In November time, and some apple trees are self-pollinating.
Right.
But this one isn't.
Right.
Just to pollinate this apple tree, you need another apple tree. So it's never going to grow any apples on it. Right. You know what I mean? It'll grow leaves on it and blossom and stuff like that, but it'll never grow apples on it.
Oh, for God's
sake.
So
to do it, we need another apple tree close by to pollinate it.
So you're going to plant a forest, are you?
No, well, I'm looking into manually pollinating it. I think you can get.
I think there's a law against that, Luke.
What?
I think there's a law against that kind of thing. Pollinating. What are you on about doing?
Pollinating the tree, getting some pollen and pollinating the tree.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were on about shagging the tree.
What?
Pollination, mate.
No, mate. You're weird.
People do in Marsden, they shag apple trees to try and make. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Okay, John. All right then. Let's just change. Get on with it. You're going weird.
Mate. I'm not weird. How dare you? Okay. So anyway, this episode 11, is about going out. That's right, going out for the first time. And the reason we thought this would be quite good is because when you have a drink, you usually have quite a lot of fond memories, and funny stories.
If you can remember it.
If you can remember it. And if you can't, then you've drunk way too much. But yeah, we thought it'd be funny to do that. So when me and Luke started... When did we start drinking? I think we started drinking about 14, didn't we? Because we used to go on the street, didn't we?
Exactly, yeah, that estate in Slough. and White Lightning cider.
White Lightning. Well, Skull beer.
Skull.
2.5%.
I said
Cheap
that
and
thing,
cheerful.
didn't I? That off license that used to sell like cheap cider to all kids that went in there. Do you know what I mean? And you were kids.
Yeah.
And you were kids, but you just did it anyway. Do you know what I mean? For sale.
Well, this was back in like 90s, mate. So what? This would have been about 95 and
mid 90s.
Yeah, no, they
like
weren't strict on it at all.
That other episode, Greenie were in there, and I were there looking at bottles in back, and he says, "Oh, he's not old enough to buy beer." Ruined it for me. Could have killed him. You know what I mean? I was so mad, so pissed off with him. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
but he kind of cleared off with his mates.
Young.
Cleared off with his mates, and I couldn't find him. Oh, I was so mad because
that was the first
because
problem,
he'd said it. Because he'd said it to him, then he had to kind of go along with it. Do you know what I mean? If he hadn't said then he'd have sold it me.
Yeah,
but
well, this was the thing. I mean, 14. We used to meet up with a group of friends, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we'd go, right, who's gonna go and buy beer? So we'd save up his pocket money. I think back then you could get about 4 cans of Skull for about £3, something like that, £3.50. So anyway, so one of us had volunteered. We'd all chip in some money and say, "Yeah, get us some cider and some Skull." So you'd go in and then you'd try and act grown up,
and some crisps.
And then you get some crisps and some chewing gum and what have you. And then we'd then obviously, if we'd been successful in buying it, which 9 times out of 10 we were, we would go on end at street and crack some cans up and then have a laugh, wouldn't we?
Yeah, but right. So say you lived there, say, right?
And on the estate.
On that estate, right? And you'd been to Slough or whatever, and you were coming home and you were walking up that way now, and there were because we used to hang around. There were about 10 of us, weren't there?
Yeah.
In a big like group. And we'd always be hanging around like the little path that joins the 2 streets together, and we'd always be there on corner. How intimidating must that have been for people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I remember being in that group, and none of us were that type of. We weren't troublemakers. We were just there as mates doing it. But when you look back on it, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking past a big group of kids like that drinking.
You say that though, but what's the difference? I mean, all right, kids aren't blooming drinking on streets anymore, but there are still kids hanging about in groups, probably smoking weed, if anything. But it's just teenagers. I normally think, they're just teenagers.
Yeah, no, but it can be quite.
Oh yeah,
it can be quite intimidating, and we didn't realize. I never even. None of us are causing trouble.
No.
It must have been quite intimidating back then. But we were just having a laugh, and
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple of occasions people would complain, wouldn't they? Because we used to get a bit rowdy, didn't we? Like laughing and joking and what have you. And you get a bit of a div. I think I was a knob once. In fact, I remember this. I had quite a bit to drink, and there was this guy just driving down the street, and I just walked out really slowly past on the road. And
what, just in his way?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
and he stopped. I know, what an idiot! But I was an idiot. I was trying to show off to girls and that. And he got out and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" kind of thing. I says, "What? I don't know what you're on about." You know what I mean? just trying to get a bit of attention, I'm guessing. But there's this one time, Chris Shaw. Do you remember Chris? Well, you got on with him, but he didn't like me. I think we've talked about it on previous episodes. But he came drinking.
I've got a picture of him for this episode. It's completely off track, but
yeah,
I've got a photograph I'm going to put on.
Yeah. But yeah, he come drinking with us, and I think it was him. It was same blooming night. He had way too much to drink, and I'm sure he pulled someone's windscreen wiper off. I'm sure.
Are you sure that wasn't you? Because I'm sure it was someone's car, Ariel.
No, I wouldn't have done that, mate. Because I like cars. I wouldn't have done nothing like that. I want that daft.
I remember that night, and
Yeah, I do.
He snapped a car aerial off, and like after that,
Yeah,
like I think it might have been him because I think after that it were you're not hanging around with us anymore.
yeah,
we weren't into that.
It was that one night, and I remember because he did that because I wasn't happy with him coming with us anyway, look, because I know he was unpredictable, and especially around me, he just didn't like me at all. Any excuse to try and have a go at me or try and hit me, you know what I mean? But there he is.
He's there looking.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about him more on a different episode, I think, because we've got a different topic, but we'll come back on that. But you're not in this, Luke, are you?
I am. So
where are you?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah,
I didn't see you.
Yeah, so you're there at back, John.
I am. I'm a very back.
Staring on.
Guess who I'm just behind?
That's Kaiser. Oh,
Kaiser.
Abdul.
What do you on for your tea?
Yeah. And then there's who else is there? Longbottom.
So
I don't recognize half of these.
So we had quadruplets in our year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And was it Matthew and Neil Longbottom?
Yeah, and then his sister.
They were in it. Yeah, that were it. And they're there. They look almost identical. So he's beside you, and then his brother's on the very end, opposite end, isn't he?
Yeah. That's Matthew.
That's it.
That's Neil.
Yes.
This is you here.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm looking at.
Kaiser and Abdul.
Yeah.
It looks like you're looking at Noah.
Noah. That was his name, wasn't it?
Noah.
Oh, it was Noah. You look really young there, Luke.
I know.
We're in year 10 there, aren't we?
Are
we we're either in year 10 or year 11. What year was this?
Year 11.
By the way, 11. So final year was that 97? Was it?
Yeah, 97. Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, let me describe it to you. It's basically an old newspaper clipping, and what's happening is there's two boys doing self-defense, and with a teacher helping them. Showing them what
judo.
to do.
We're kind of doing judo as a self-defense thing, aren't we?
Yes.
It's completely off track, but because you mentioned Chris Shaw, I knew I had this picture of him.
Yeah.
There he is. There's Noah and there's Chris.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of lads.
There's not to him, is there?
Nah. There was there were lads all in the background as well. Oh, you've made it disappear now. I'm finished. Put it back.
Okay. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. So so two lads fighting at the front with a teacher helping them, and then a load of lads around the back of them. So I'm just trying to remember. So some of the lads here. Who was that? That's Andrew Musket. He used to go to my primary. Yeah, that was it. Always had a snotty nose. Don't know why. Richard Tennant. He's just behind. Tennant. Yeah, he was in my class. Him? No, Richard Tennant is beside Matthew. Just behind Matthew. Keep going. Yeah. Yes, that's Richard Tennant. I don't know who that guy is behind Richard though. Who was he? I remember his face, but I can't remember his name.
No, I don't know.
And I don't know the guy bang in the middle.
Him?
Yes.
No, I don't know. Like you say, I recognize. Look at this guy.
Is that Ben? No, that's Ben behind him, isn't it? No, that's Sean. He was in your. That's Sean. He was. Is
the only one wearing a blue shirt?
That's it. He was quite a camp fellow. I remember him, wasn't he? He was very, very camp. But I'm sure him on end's called Ben. The guy with the glasses at the very back. What's his name? Because I've bumped into him at Bull Pub at Linthwaite. I had a good chat with him, and he was a nice guy. I can't remember him, but I don't know the guy in the middle. But is that the guy at the very back with the curtains? Who's that?
I don't know. I know that some people, because it were on Facebook, that picture, and some of the people in the picture have been tagged.
Right.
So, let's have a look. So we've got Lee Taylor. Richard Cliff. That's Richard Cliff with glasses.
Richard Cliff. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I liked him. He's really, really dry sense of humour.
Yeah.
He was all right, him.
That'll be Lee Taylor.
Yeah, I didn't really know him.
Yeah. Joss Lees, which one's he?
He must be the guy at the opposite end then, behind Andrew Musket. With the thick hair there.
Joss,
unless it's him in the middle.
Unless it's him.
Could be
him, yeah.
Yeah.
And then who else is there? Yeah, Neil and Matt Longbottom. Kev Ellis.
Kevin Ellis. Kevin, I think that's him with thick hair.
Here.
Behind Richard. Yeah, he looks like a Kevin. I know it sounds ridiculous, but he does look like a Kevin, doesn't he?
Could do, yeah.
You know.
Doesn't look not like him in Facebook, no.
No, I don't.
But he don't look like any of them on there.
You know something, Luke? I had to refrain myself from commenting on this photo. I really did.
Really? Why?
Because of Chris. I told myself back.
Why? What would your comment would have been? Oh, he's changed his last name.
I know. I noticed that.
Is that him?
It is.
With that massive beard?
Yeah. That's him now, yeah.
Oh, it is him. Why has he changed his last name?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, there could be several reasons. We won't go into it.
No, we won't go into it.
Anyway, it's completely off track. But yeah, that's
it. Is off track.
I only put that up because you mentioned his name.
Well, we can look at that at another episode because I've got an idea of the episode. But anyway, going out. We haven't even got round to it yet, Luke.
I know.
So, underage drinking. We started off drinking on the street, didn't we? And you've got to remember, these were the days when you could get away with underage drinking and going out. And I think I started drinking. Well, do you remember I used to go with my dad? I used to help my dad with his DJing. Do you remember?
Yeah.
On a weekend. And I remember he used to buy me pints and pints. And I got quite good at drinking at quite a young age. And he got me to my first nightclub at 14.
Really?
He just blagged the bouncers eyes with me.
Right, okay.
Just because they knew he was a local DJ, they just let him in.
Oh, God.
I thought, this is amazing. This is brilliant, this. And then it wasn't so long after about 15, we were in year 10, we started going out around town.
Well, I didn't actually go out.
Do you know?
Until I was about 17.
What?
No, I didn't actually start going out around town until I was about 17.
Why?
Yeah. Don't know. Don't really know.
Because I think at that point I'd started hanging about with Wardy and Bestie, didn't I?
Yeah, so they were obviously going out. But yeah, I don't know. It never really kind of appealed to me until I actually started going out, yeah.
Well, maybe we were about 15. I think I'm almost 16 then. I must have just turned 16. That were it, because everyone had started leaving school, and Bestie and Wardy had got apprenticeships, so they had money.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have much money. And they used to pay for me to go out with them. And I used to feel so bad. I said, look, lads, look, you don't have to do this. You know, you don't have, but they just enjoyed my company.
But it was that cheap to go out and all, wasn't it, back then?
It was, honestly, right. This was the day when you could go out for 20 quid.
20 quid. You could go out with 20 quid.
Go out with 20 quid and you still have money left for a taxi.
For a taxi, yeah. Can you believe that?
Oh,
and now go out with 20 quid.
But what is it now? You're talking at least, 70 quid
70,
each?
80 quid just for just a normal basic night.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
But they have been saying they're going to reduce beer tax.
Yeah, that's why people like drink now before they even go out, don't they?
Oh yeah, just get hammered before you go out.
Mm.
Because they used to do a pound a pint night. Do you remember them?
And then you had student nights on Wednesday, didn't you?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
But I remember going out while I was still at school. And do you remember Pepper House?
Yeah.
In Huddersfield?
I loved it.
You used to see all your schoolmates there. And they were clearly underage.
Yeah.
Clearly underage. And everyone's just having a drink.
Well, that were our like lunchtime. When I was at college, we used to go there as dinner time and drink.
Did you?
In Pepper House, yeah. We're at Camel Club then, though.
Nah, it didn't change name. It changed name later than that.
Yeah,
a couple of years later than that. Yeah, it
yeah, we used to
I
go
think it
there.
was about
I
90.
liked it in there as well. It was great.
Oh,
Really good
you know,
atmosphere, wasn't
Pepper House was one of the best nightclubs I'd ever been in.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame but check this out. My dad, it used to be called the Adiga.
Mm.
And my dad was in like the late 70s, early 80s, was like the top DJ in Huddersfield at the Adiga, and everyone used to go there. And it's just then it changed hands, obviously, and then became the Pepper House, and we loved it in there because you could
It
get
was
in
small
any
though,
age.
wasn't it? It was like
fairly small.
Yeah, so it were kind of like, I don't know, it seemed very, what's the word?
Well, a bit cramped, would you say? Oh, Luke's distracted. I'll explain. Yeah, Luke's just doing something. I'll explain, folks. So the Pepper House, you could actually, if you go on Google and you look for the Camel Club, you'll probably be able to get a visualization of what it is, because it's pretty much the same layout inside and out. So we used to end up there, and it was excellent. You know, there was a cloakroom, if I remember. You go in on the left-hand side, and there was a cloakroom there, and the dance floor was in the middle, and then you had two bars, I think, one on the left and then one on the right, if I remember. But
yeah, I think it was bays, wasn't it, on right and at back. I only
I think
remember
they changed
one bar.
it. I think you're remembering Camel Club. Now, I'm sure there was two bars. Or was it just one long bar? It might have been one long bar.
One long bar. Oh no, there was a
something.
small bar on the right hand side as you went through the door. I think they did cocktails or something.
Oh really? Because I've got a song, Luke, here that I'm going to find. I made a little playlist called the Pepper House.
Did you?
The songs that used to remind me of it was that good. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. Let me have a look. Grace has put all this crap on there as well.
Intimate's the word I was looking for.
It's well, I won't say it was intimate.
No, but what I mean is when I say that was
dances.
When I say this, what I mean is it's like it used to get packed, but it was small enough for it to feel not too. It was just a good music venue.
That was brilliant, mate. I'm just looking through these.
You had a fight in there once.
Oh, mate, I was just about to bring that up. Well, let me tell you this story. So,
couldn't build. Oh, Jesus.
Well, I'm not a violent person, right? But this pissed me off, right? We went into the Pepper House. I think I was at college at this point, and I was working part-time at Morrison's in Huddersfield while I was at college. And I started seeing a girl from Morrison's, a girl called Carrie, that was it. And anyway, me, Luke, and Carrie decided we were going to go out, didn't we?
Cassie, wasn't it?
Carrie. No, you're thinking that one before. One phase of girls sounded the same. Anyway, went in, and it was banging in there. And I says, right, I'll go and get the drinks. What do you want? And I think you came with me, Luke. Or did you stay with her? No, you can't. You came with me to the bar.
No, I didn't, because you went to the bar.
Yeah.
And I don't know what had happened with her or where she was.
Oh, did she go off?
But I seem to remember kind of losing sight of you.
Yeah.
And I was looking for you for ages. I just couldn't find you, and I didn't know why I couldn't find you or what.
Right.
But yeah, and obviously the reason why I couldn't find you is because something had happened.
Right. So I'll explain. So basically, I says, "Oh, you stay here. You, I'm sure I left her with you. Anyway,
well, you didn't, because I didn't see what were happening.
All right. I says, I'll go and get some drinks. What do you want? And then I kind of got halfway to the bar and thought, shit, I forgot what she wanted. So I went back. She's only necking this other guy. So I was livid. I'd had a few. So I just
had like a white shirt on.
Sorry?
I think you had a really light coloured shirt on.
Right. So anyway, I tapped this guy on the shoulder. He turned around and I gave him a right whacking nose. proper whack. Broke his nose.
You were absolutely covered in blood.
Well, he grabbed me. As soon as I smashed him in his nose, he kind of grabbed me. So I grabbed him as well. And he was just breathing blood all over me, all over my shirt. And anyway, they pulled me apart, the bouncers, and walked me out. I says, just get off me. I says, I'll just walk out. I was covered head to toe in his blood. And I got outside, and then you must have come outside. Carrie followed me out. You came outside, and we all met up somehow. And you were like, Jesus, what the hell?
Because I didn't know what had happened to cause that, and I didn't know where you'd gone, and I was looking for you for ages. And anyway, eventually I came out thinking, "Oh, I'm off home. I can't find him." And then there you were.
Yeah. And you thought it was my blood, didn't it?
I didn't know what. I just didn't know, but I can remember that vividly. What had happened? But she'd been kissing someone, and then you obviously
smacked him.
You smacked him, but I remember you falling out with her and.
Oh,
I can't believe you've cheated on me. I can't believe you've cheated on me. No, why would you do that?
Yeah. And then anyway, me being a bumming soft git, knew she couldn't get home. So I bundled us all in car. I probably shouldn't have. I'd sobered up by that point because all adrenaline. But I probably shouldn't have been driving anyway. This is when I was young and stupid, by the way. So I was only 18. Jumped in car, didn't we? And started driving back on Huddersfield Road, and then we pull up to a set of traffic lights, a bloody police car there. And I remember thinking, I really don't care right now. But they didn't turn and look at us, because if they'd turned and looked at us, they would have seen me covered in blood, and they would have just pulled me over. But they didn't look. And anyway, I think it were in Astra. Anyway, so anyway, I drove her home, then I drove you home, and then I went home, and then I went upstairs and started washing my face, and Mum comes out and sees me coming, and she goes, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Mum, don't worry, it's not mine." I said, "What's happened?" She says, "Don't want to talk about it." I says, "I'm all right. He came worse off."
Yeah.
But I'm not proud of that moment. It was just something that happened in heat at moment, and I'd had a few to drink, and it was a pretty bad situation. But that's what happens.
Are you sure you took me home? I thought I stayed at your house.
You might have done, mate.
Were you at Crimble then? You were at Crimble then, weren't you?
No, we weren't. We're still at Well House.
Were you?
I can remember.
I feel like I stayed at your house.
I feel like
I stayed at your house.
I must have dropped her off, and you must have come back with me then.
Yeah.
But that's the other problem with drinking when your inhibitions lower, and you probably do stuff that you wouldn't. Because I'm not a violent person, I'm not by any means. Obviously, touch me kids, touch me friends, or if I see someone hurting a child or someone who's a lot smaller, then we're gonna have problems. But I think that's the same for everyone, isn't it? I'm just trying to find this song that used to remind me of bloody it's not that one. 7 days, 1 week. I think this is it. This used to be on in the Pepper House all the time. Let me play this song. If you can hear this. Okay, go in a bit.
Just takes you back in time, doesn't it?
Oh, what a tune, Luke. Always though, wasn't it? Always on.
I know. Without craving going out.
Sorry, mate.
I know. But
do you remember that song? I'm just trying to think it up.
Never the same one. Camel Club were good. It's probably is. Pepper House were different, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just wasn't the same. Got bloody Venga Boys on here. What's going on here? This used to remind me of. Do you remember this one? This was when we used to be drinking on the streets and that. Bit of Robin S.
That's a timeless classic, though, that, isn't it?
Oh yeah, tune, mate. Should we go out? We'll show a party. We'll do a party episode.
Oh no, yeah.
But this was all, you know. I think our generation kind of fell into like a really important kind of phase of music, because it was the first kind of time that this is when all sampling started happening. You know, you had like, oh, blooming heck, how can I miss this one? Hang on, mate, I've just thought of another song that used to play all the time. Where is it? Where is it?
Stuff you've.
Let's have a look. You know,
stuff you've put on.
This reminds me of Luke's bedroom.
Yeah, Bellissima.
And Luke's Iowa.
It is Bellissima, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I had that with me alarm.
Did you?
I used to play it all the time because I loved it.
I know you did. DJ Quicksilver.
God, yeah. That was my alarm. That's what woke me up every morning. And I wouldn't get out of bed until it had finished.
Oh, God, there's some really good ones here.
Yeah. There were another one at the same time. There was Bellissima, and then there was another one at the same time. Can't remember it, though.
But so many good songs, mate.
You know, you put some on here with this planner about the swan at Crimble and dancing with the shirts on.
Oh, God, I remember this. God, yeah. Well,
yeah.
when my mum broke up with that fella, we moved down to Crimble, didn't we? Started renting down at Crimble. But yeah, there were this time. Before we get into this story, though, I just want to say our generation kind of fell into this really brilliant kind of dance music generation, because it was the first time music started getting sampled, and you had people like Daft Punk, you had Armand van Helden, all these brilliant artists all coming out and just experimenting with kind of like house music, disco house, and then trance started coming out, didn't it? And garage. It was just an explosion of new generation of dance music. Oh, it was unbelievable. So the music at the time we were going out was just sensational. Tie that with obviously drinking for the first time and just being free. It was probably one of the best times ever. In my opinion. I think we've cracked it. It was such a brilliant time. But anyway, back to this this thing, another part of underage drinking. We moved out of Crimble, me, my mum and my sister, we're renting this house, and right across the road there was this pub called the Swan. And me and Luke ended up going there, didn't we? I think we were about 16, something like that. And we ended up, they had karaoke on, didn't they? And don't ask me how we managed to do this, but we were having, we had a few beers, didn't we? And it, I think someone with Gordon's going, go on, you've to be sat out there all night and even sung a song.
Yeah.
And we're like,
what at locals or something?
Yeah, I was like, sod it, let's do it. So I got Luke.
As if we did this.
I know. And then I said, what should we sing? And I said, let's do I'm Too Sexy by the Friends. I'm too sexy from my shirt. Because we'd had a skinful, we started taking the shirts off.
Oh my God.
I can't believe we did it.
I had
so funny though.
Yeah, I know. I had a bit of a reputation for stripping off at parties.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I'm just gonna say
weddings and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I get drunk and then they'd play like that. God, what's that one they used to Full Monty song?
Oh no.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Just it's so embarrassing.
Man,
Someone just come back to me now, but yeah, me and Danny and a couple of others who just oh God, it's just a bad memory.
How far did you go with it?
Oh, as far as it went, you know. It gave a new meaning to shoehorn.
Oh, you didn't. You went full Starkers with hat on, knob. You didn't. You didn't.
Yeah. My shoe, yeah.
Oh, Luke. Bloody hell.
Oh, God.
Did you have a baby shoe ready or something?
So embarrassing.
Oh, mate, I can't believe you've done it.
I know. But yeah, so, God. It's just funny what drink does to you, isn't it?
Well, it's around coming back to it. It lowers your inhibitions, doesn't it?
Exactly.
But yeah, Luke, do you remember when? Do you remember? I think. Do you remember there used to be a couple of young lads who used to live across the road from me when I lived at Crimble?
No, I've read that on there, and I don't know who it was.
Oh, this is
I don't really
embarrassing.
seem to remember this.
Well, these girls were like in their early 20s, if I remember. And I remember one drove this Peugeot 205, a white Peugeot 205 XSI. And I used to think she was lovely, like. And anyway, I got chatting to her, and I think I built up a bit of a crush for her, like. And I kept like, she come to the pub with me a couple of times. I'd asked her, like, come to the pub, but I kept. I think it went a bit OTT. I used to go over and knock on her door, like, and then they used to like. I think she used to like sometimes just not answer because she knew it would be. But you look back now and you think, oh God, that is so cringe. Why would you do that? Because obviously she wasn't interested in me because she was too old for me, you know what I mean? But it's just this thing you build up in your head as a young lad, isn't it? You just think, oh, she likes me, you know. You
used to think everybody liked you.
Well, you see, that were it.
Because I remember being in town once, we were walking through town and there was some girls there and that, and we were walking along and they were looking over. And I was, oh, they're looking at us. And you were like, oh, no, they're looking at me. Like, thanks, John.
I used to be a little twat, though.
No, they're looking at me. Oh, cheers, man.
I used to have this false persona on me, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was really overconfident when I left school.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll tell you the reason for that on another episode. But yeah, I got really, when I left school, it was like a fresh start and a fresh opportunity for me. And that's why I enjoyed so much going out, socializing and drinking. And it was just great. But yeah, mate, Crimble was funny, mate, wasn't it?
That's where we did that animation, that live animation.
Where? Oh, yeah. What Novi, though, were it?
Novi, yeah. That one. Glenn were there. Cleggy were there, I think. Alexander.
What, at our house?
At your house at Crimble. Because you had an open staircase, didn't you?
Yes, I remember now, yeah.
Yeah, and we were there. That's where we did it. That's where we did that live animation.
Novi. I wish I'd never throw that PC out, mate. I had all those old recordings on, mate.
I know, yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's where we did that. And
do you remember
go on.
No, you go on, mate.
I remember ordering like I ordered like 20 quid worth of pizzas to your house once.
You did?
Yeah. Me and Alexander, we were at a local pizza place.
Oh, you did.
I used to play pranks on you all the time when you lived there.
Really?
Yeah, and I ordered a load of pizzas to your house.
I mustn't have paid for them then. I must have said, sorry, mate, not my house.
I don't know if you were in. Because I never heard about it from you. But I just remember doing that. I ordered a lot of pizzas to your house.
Yeah, Dave.
Me and Alexander pissing us off.
You can't do that now, can you? People used to do stuff like that all the time. We used to do that to do you remember Wardy?
Yeah.
Me and Lee used to order massive Chinese buffets to his house. Like 20 quid's worth. And because he felt bad, he'd always pay for them. You bastards, I wasn't even hungry. I had to pay 20 quid for that.
I bet he still ate it.
He didn't eat it, he just fucking left it. Oh dear, but now you can't do that anymore, can you?
Oh, you probably could, you know. You don't have to pay that phone, do you?
I don't know. Oh, I might just do it to him.
I'll do a Chinese banquet again.
Like big, it'd be probably about 40 quid's worth nowadays.
Last foot pass. He's
Oh,
gonna ignore it with you, wouldn't
he? Yeah. Oh dear. Do you remember?
What was it?
Can Can you imagine that happening now? Someone's rolling up with a big banquet, going, "There you go, mate. That's 50 quid, please." Have you got coffee cheeks? No, you haven't. Oh dear.
God. That's funny. That.
Oh dear.
He's tight on takeaway place, so isn't it?
It is because they don't get paid for it. They must have
Exactly.
had that happen to them all the time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Withheld numbers 141.
Yeah.
Phone boxes. What's all that about?
No.
Oh, I don't know. But do you
Never used to
remember?
exist.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a funny time for me and you because it was around the time that we left school and we started hanging around with some of his college mates more, didn't we? We'd still meet up now and again, but we wouldn't go out drinking together as much, would we?
No.
But we used to. Do you remember? Do you used to have a pub crawl? Because we used to have one. So we'd normally start off. Oh, check this out.
Cherry Tree. You go to Cherry Tree.
No, we didn't.
You start there because beer were cheap.
Yeah, you did old student one, didn't you? But I used to go out with obviously Wardy and Bestie. Oh God, I'm not on about big Bestie, birdseed Bestie. I'm on about. Oh God,
Lee.
You know Lee. Yeah.
What's other Bestie called?
Mark.
Are they brothers?
No, one's called Lee Bestington and other one's called Mark Best. Mark Best. I say. Anyway, what's a birdseed? Anyway, no, I'll come back to that. Anyway, birdseed Bestie, they used to call him.
What?
Well, the reason they used to call him, all right, the reason they used to call him Birdseed Bestie is because, do you remember that lad we were talking about before? You remember Nick George, the bad lad?
Yeah.
Anyway,
something else he started off.
Yeah, it was. And his Bestie were really tall, wasn't he, for his age? He was about 6'4" at like 15. And I think Nick George saw him eating birdseed. So he started calling him Big Bird. He's calling Birdseed Bestie then after that.
God. Remember Lee Schofield?
Lee Schofield, Robocop. Yeah, I do, yeah.
Anyway,
dear.
carry on, sorry.
Yeah, we're going down a different path here. But yeah, we used to start off in the county pub. Do you know what county's still there to this day? Do you remember county? It's right next door to Wilkinson's in town. Wilco's, sorry.
Oh, no, actually, I don't know where it is.
Of course you do. You know where multi-story car park is?
No, I know where Wilco's is.
It's right. It's attached to it.
Right,
it's right next door to it.
Behind it, not on New Street, is it? Is it like down as if you're going
down the side?
On right.
Yeah, on the right. Yeah. Well, that's there to this day. And we used to start in there. But the thing was that we used to have 1 pint in there because beer was cheap. And for some reason, Wardy, every time we had a pint, we'd start walking to the next pub. The fresh air would hit him and then he'd be sick. He'd throw up. Every time without fail. And I'm like, oh, bloody hell, give up because you're going to set me up. But this one time, he kind of made it, started doing his old gagging thing. We started going, yeah. And he says, I need some cash. And anyway, they walked at Cash Point. There used to be a Cash Point right next door right opposite the town hall. There used to be a Cash Point in the doorway. And he went there. And anyway, Lee was trying to get some money out. Wardy threw up. It made Lee throw up all over bloody Cash Point. It's just like, for God's sake. But anyway, we used to go from the I forgot the name of it, county. Then we go to Swan. Then we go to Flares. You remember Flares?
Yeah.
Which is a 70s kind of place. I think they were all over the shop. Then we go to Pepper House. Then we go to Hot Shots. And then we end up in Visage.
So you kind of work backwards then. So you kind of work from one end of town up towards Pepper House. And then what? You'd go from there down to Hot Shots, would you?
Yeah, but we'd walk up down Huddersfield Road and that way.
God, it's a long walk.
It is.
Going that way. We always used to work as way opposite way.
We must have drunk so much. You think how many places we've been to?
I know. So you go to Cherry Tree, then you go to like.
What is this, your crawl?
And then like you'd go past.
Wasn't it Rat and Parrot?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, right. There was a Rat and Parrot there at one point.
What's that vodka spot called? Revs.
Oh,
Revolutions, and then you go to Lord Wilson, the Warehouse, Blob Shop, Livingston's, and then you get a taxi down to Visage.
Oh, really? You went like the university student kind of route then, didn't you?
It's just because you get off bus or train at that end of town.
Do you remember you could catch a bus to
there were free buses
Birstall?
To Birstall?
Yeah. Used to be able to catch a bus from Huddersfield somewhere and it'd take you to Birstall.
No, Batley Frontier.
That were it. That were it. Do you remember? Right dive, wasn't it? But it's famous, you know.
Great. Oh my god.
I'd only been a couple of. I didn't really like it. It was like a bloody casino when you got out.
Yeah. It was. You're right. Yeah.
Right dive.
Batley Frontier. Batley Variety Club.
Sticky carpets and lot.
I know.
Proper old school. And then you could catch a bus from there to Birstall because they had a big nightclub there that we went to a couple of times.
Oh,
I forget what it was called. Do you remember?
It was massive. It was like a bloody Summer Beaton nightclub, wasn't it?
It was massive. It was like proper trance and everything. It was amazing.
I only went in there once.
I went there once or twice.
I only went there once, and I had like tinnitus for about a week. It was that loud.
You're joking.
Seriously, it was horrible. And I got searched as well.
You got searched?
I got searched, yeah.
What, strip searched?
No. Like an escape route thing and just searched me. But it was my first time there. Obviously, I wasn't doing no. I don't know whether it was just a stop and search or what, but I know that they had a really big drug problem in there.
Yeah, they probably
that's why it got shut down. But I just when that happened to me, I said, I'm not coming here again.
No,
that were it. Then I left, and I just thought,
can you really remember any drugs when we went out around Huddersfield? I can never recall.
Not in my gang.
Neither of mine. We
never
always saw any.
Yeah, I don't know whether I was naive to it or what.
I think I was naive to it. I didn't know because you don't really look for it, do you?
No, not unless you're looking for it. But I never was. But yeah, we just.
No, I won't either. But I suppose you're right.
Yeah. So, but once you'd finished at Blob Shop or Livingston's or whatever, you'd either have to get a taxi down or if you missed it, or because there was a free Visage bus that'd take you down there.
Ah, I see.
And then you'd go into Visage, and I remember, because pubs shut like 10:30, 11 o'clock, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They used to have the doors used to shut at 11, didn't they?
Yeah, and then you had like a time limit on how quick you could get down to Visage, because then they'd stop letting people in at a certain time at Visage as well.
Yeah, they were, I think about 12, wasn't it? But then it'd stay up until about 2, 3 in the morning, wouldn't it?
As if it closed then. As if it closed at like 2 or 2:30. You had to be out by 2:30, you know what I mean? It just so different.
Do you remember that old couple that used to go there?
Yeah.
Like really old couple.
Mm.
And they were renowned for just staying there all night.
Yeah, I know, yeah. They loved
dancing, and they were in the like mid-70s. Yeah. They were famous.
I know.
I always remember the bloody queue for Visage. I mean, freezing cold and waiting to go in.
Freezing your nipples off.
Oh God, fake IDs. Do you remember them?
Yeah, and you just like the queue would be that long. You'd be queuing around bloody corner, wouldn't you?
Oh,
you mentioned Hot Shots before.
Yeah,
me and Glenn got barred from Hot Shots.
From how?
Me, Cleggy, Glenn, and someone else. Alexander might have been there and what have you. And we were bowling, and there was a fault with Lane. and the barrier came down to sweep the pins out.
Yeah.
But it came out mid-throw, so it went down, and then Glenn Glenn was bowling, and it came down part way through his ball, and it obviously banged off it, and then lane went faulty.
Right.
Yeah, the guy who gives the shoes out, the bloody pleb who is no one.
Yeah.
The shoes out, marches over. You've broken that lane. You're bad from here. You're bad. And he was like,
what?
And Glenn's like, oh, I'm bad from hot shots. Oh no, my life's over. You're bad. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh dear.
You know what I mean? But who were he to bar someone? This guy that has shoes out.
Oh, not better to do that sounds of it, mate.
Yeah, that place in
I always remember, right, when I used to go out with Wardy and Bestie, it always ended up with one of us falling out and walking home. It was funny. And it was usually Lee. Because, I get annoying when I've had a drink. And I used to know that he used to hate his nipples being tweaked. So I'd get to end at night. And I'd just go, it'd be like, fuck off, Cooney, don't fucking do that. I'll fucking smack you. Like that. And I just keep doing, right, fuck this, right, I'm fucking off. And he'd just walk home. Like, where are you going, dickhead? Like that.
That's what you like then, though. You were right wind up, and you just keep pressing and pressing and going until while you were doing it'd just fall out with you.
I know.
So I'm
I'm still a bit like that now. I'm a bit of obviously I've matured a lot because I'm nearly 40, but yeah, that's just my personality. I just like to push people's buttons in a kind of playful way.
No,
I'd never mean it.
In Sheffield, you know that.
Yeah.
And every time I left, I'm like, why do I come here? Why do I bother coming here? John never comes to see me, and every time I leave it, I hate him. Like that every time.
Because I'm playful. I
hated you when I left there. I'd said to Claire, why do I put myself through this? Why do I come here? John never comes to see me, and I hate him every time I leave here.
It's because you knew deep down I don't mean it. I'm just taking me.
I'd settle down and then I'd come again. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, just God, I hated you. Fucking idiot.
Oh dear. You don't mean that, mate. You don't mean it.
I bloody did when I left that house. I'm not coming here again. I hate him.
Really?
Why do I come here? Why do I come here? When's I leaving? Well, no, I'd be leaving, man.
Which house?
Sheffield.
What, Penistone?
No. When you lived on that cul-de-sac.
Millhouse Green? Oh, you mean Barnsley?
Oh, Barnsley.
Furlong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh,
they used to wind you up, did they?
They used to wind me up to the point where I hated you. You know what I mean? God, I hated you. But that's what you're like. You've always been like that, You still are like that.
I'm a wind up. I'm a wind up. Not as much.
But that's what you used to piss me off when we were working together as well.
Yeah, I used
to push my buttons.
I just pushed. It's because I knew how to push your button. But to be fair, you knew how to push mine. So we just do it to each other. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you remember Beyond Beach Babylon?
I can't. Yeah, it was like.
It was weird, wasn't it?
They were like. It were almost like going to Rome or something, wasn't it? There were pillars and stuff in there.
Yeah, but it was happy hardcore, wasn't it? And I wasn't really into that kind of music.
But like really hardcore, the dance floor were always that smoky. You couldn't see around room.
No,
that's my memory of it. You'd go in there and you couldn't see anywhere. Because with that much bloody dry ice, you could hide from your mates.
Because fella used to go there a lot.
Fella went, and Brewis, I think, went and all.
Oh, did he? Because I never got into that.
Brewis is funny to go out with.
Is he?
Yeah. Every pint he's always pouring beer on his shirt. You know
on
what I
his
mean?
shirt, because instead of doing that,
instead of tilting his drink, he'd tilt his body.
It tilts his body. Yeah.
Instead of just
still
doing
does
that,
it.
you like that. You tilt the glass, don't you?
Yeah.
You'd do this. You go. I didn't do it. But he'd tilt his body back. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
He always had a wet patch on his shirt, didn't he?
He'd always spilt his beer on his shirt. What are you
because he
doing?
didn't bend his neck.
And what you used to do is if I were drinking from a bottle, I'd do that, and then you'd put your finger in the bottle and keep it like that. So I couldn't tilt the bottle down. The only option I had, was either keep drinking or pull it away and spill it on myself.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you'd put your finger on the end of it and tilt it up like that. And so they had two choices: you either drink it all at once and be sick, or spill it on myself. And you remember, like, if you don't put your glass down on a surface, because your mate had always come along and banged top of your glass, top of your bottle with their bottle,
and it just go spray out everywhere. Oh God, I did that to someone. I went to Crete, and I met a group of people. And went with them to watch the football.
Yeah,
and I did it to one of them, but it was like a big bottle of beer, and it was really crowded, and it hit the ceiling and went over at loads of people. I was like, shit. Like, I'm out of here. God. But yeah, I never went to Beyond Beach Babylon that much. It wasn't my scene. It was just too hardcore.
I think I went in like maybe once or twice, and that was it.
Yeah, I went in about once, but
I remember.
My mate used to be a DJ there, you know.
Really?
Ryan. Yeah, one of the lads I went to college with. It was Ryan. He used to DJ there, and that's the other reason I went in, I think.
I think that's why I went in, because there were a lad on my course who were a DJ, and he DJ'd in there. So I think that's probably why I went in there. Yeah, because the time I went in, I was with all my college, everybody I went to college with, and because he were in there, that were his night. That is the why I were in there. Yeah. So
basically, the only reason I went in is because his mates were DJs.
Basically,
this was the time when they just used vinyls as well and skill.
Do you remember? Do you remember what you used to do to down your bottle?
12 Yeah, you used to put a straw in it and bend it backwards.
Bend it around, yeah, and then you could just you just do it.
Swallow it all in one. It was amazing.
How the hell did you do it? Yeah,
it's because it took all air out, didn't it?
You could just swallow it all. I know. God,
I'll have to bring that back. I've never seen anyone do that since.
I know.
Probably a good reason for it.
Who did we see in Visage? Did you ever see anyone perform live in Visage?
I vaguely remember someone.
Holly Valance. Remember her?
I do, but she wasn't my type, mate. Yeah, she wasn't my type, mate.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You sure that wasn't the Camel Club?
Man. No, that were at Visage, Holly Valance. I saw a few people live in Visage, but yeah, Holly Valance were there. I remember her.
Holly Valance.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a bit of a bedroom DJ, but I didn't have the confidence to, because my mates gave Visage a mixtape and wanted me to come in for a trial, and I didn't go in because I was just too frightened.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like, you might think I'm confident, but I'm actually not.
Yeah.
I'm confident around people I know, and I really come out my shell.
Yeah.
But if it's certain situations, mate, can't do it. You know.
No.
But do you remember which weren't far from Beyond Beach Babylon, but kind of came after it closed down? Do you remember Bar 1?
Were it by a train station?
Or was it Bar None? Either Bar None.
Oh, Bar None, yeah.
That was it. Bar None.
Bar None.
It used to be train station.
Yeah, I think same again. I think because it wasn't on our route, I think I maybe only went in once or twice just to try it out.
Yeah, it was quite a hip kind of place, but I don't know. It's not there anymore, is it? I think it had 2 floors, and
Yeah.
I think the downstairs was really cramped and sweaty, if I remember.
Yeah. There were another
Is
one called
Tokyo
Rocks
still
Off.
there?
Do you remember Rocks Off?
Nah, don't ring a bell.
Rocks Off, yeah. It were a shop called Rocks Off, and then that shut, and they opened a bar there, and the bar were then called Rocks Off, and it were like that were a bit of a trendy hip type.
Oh, was it like opposite where Co-op used to be?
No,
On
it were down
corner?
the street next to Cherry Tree.
Nah, it probably a student bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably a student bar. Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of hang out with all uni student lot by the sound of it.
No, we're just our route somehow. You just kind of make a route, don't you? And you always go to the same ones. Heaven and Hell. I remember that.
Yeah, we're going to come to that because obviously there was Visage and Ethos. Visage were for youngins and Ethos were for
25
old
up.
Wasn't it? That were it.
And there were a tunnel between them, weren't they? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think youngins could go into old bit, but old ones could come into youngins bit. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was
funny
like.
Rule.
That's what it was like, and I think that was the idea behind it. But I always used to go in there in Ethos, but I didn't spend long in there because I didn't find
music was shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, music was shit. But yeah, there were a tunnel, and then they opened next door to that. They opened another one. After Hot Shots closed, they built a casino there. And then
is that where you used to work, Luke?
When I used to work in casino, yeah. I worked in one back train station, and then we moved down there. But they built a bar there as well. What the hell was that bar called? Yeah, there were a bar linked to it.
Good.
I can't remember anyway, but yeah. So they had that
Barcode.
No, it was called a bar called Barcode though.
Oh, of course they will.
Yeah.
Making my jokes.
Anyway, but yeah, they're about what were it called? Oh, I can't remember. It don't matter anyway. But yeah, but Heaven and Hell, I remember that kind of opened, and that was kind of a rival to Visage because it were in the same area, wasn't it? Like it were on the way to Visage.
On top of hill, wasn't it? Downhill from it.
Yeah. So it were on the way to Visage, so that they kind of stole a lot of their custom. And so what they did was they kind of redesigned the internal workings of Visage to try and re-attract people, but it would never the same ever. It would never the same. I think it got sold, and then someone came in and they put they just redesigned the inside of it. All the changed and that, and it was just crap. It was shit. It just died a death after that. But then Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell didn't last that long.
No,
it didn't last that long.
Maybe about 5 years or something, wasn't it? Or something like that.
I don't think it was even that. Yeah. I think it were a couple of years.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
Because they put a lot of work into it, because that was all co-op, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think the nightclub scene were dying off because I think they'd lengthened how long pubs could stay open.
Yes, and they'd banned smoking. I think they hadn't that one until 2007.
No. But so the nightclub scene would kind of dying off because they'd lengthened hours. Pubs could stay open till, and so more pubs opened in town. There were a lot more
bars,
pubs and bars opening in town, and that were it. Then Heaven and Hell got closed. Visage went.
Yeah,
Tokyo's were kind of a cross between a club and a bar, wasn't it? Which is still. I think that's still there. That's still there.
Is it still going? That's all right. It had all kinds of. There's about 4 floors in there.
And then really good, a really nice outside bit and all. Like you go upstairs twice, and it's like a roof terrace thing. Yeah, that's really good. That's probably one of the best bars in town now. That I reckon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's got when I used to go, I used to have rock music downstairs. That's been going for ages because I remember me, Wardy and Bestie went in. And the top floor were dance music, and we went to the top floor, and we were being silly because we used to say to each other, "Hey mate, you got a bit of dirt on your head," just taking Liverpool accent. And this guy just walks past, and I just go, "Hey mate, you got a bit of dirt on your head?" She goes, "What? You got dirt on your head, mate? Fucking massive piece of dirt on your head, just there." And he just says, "Don't point at me again." I walked off. But we used to do just shit like that. We were so daft.
Jesus.
I didn't get punched. But
I
yeah.
know. But yeah.
You know, it's stuff you get up to. Do you remember when I moved to Barnsley? Did you ever come on for a night out around Barnsley?
I think I went out in Barnsley with you twice. Once,
Okay.
just as a pub crawl, and then the second time,
stag do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stag do. When I saw you tinky.
Is that when you saw it?
I saw you tinky that night. Yeah.
What did you think to it, Luke?
You're more of a grower than a shower, weren't you?
I know I have. I've always been a grower than a shower. That's the way. God, that was a messed up night, wasn't it?
I know.
It was a good night.
Yeah. Do you remember that bloody drink they made you?
Oh,
what
God.
were in that? I can't remember what were in it.
So,
did you drink it, or did you?
Well, let's start the night off. What happened was, I got there and in bus station they made me dress up as Hulk, didn't they? For a start. Then we went to the first bar, and it was quite bizarre because it kind of backfired, because we went into the Bear pub, it was called, and for some reason everyone was in fancy dress. So the only people that looked idiots were you lot. It was so funny. Oh dear! And then after that, I think I was went down to
James gave me some bloody handcuffs to handcuff you to a. James gave me some handcuffs.
All right.
Handcuff you to a thing.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get them to close. And in end, I think I ended up handcuffing him to something without him knowing, without him realising. I thought, oh, forget this. It's not funny anyway. It's not even a funny joke. And, it's all hat in it. It's not even funny. So I thought, I'll handcuff him to something instead. And he ended up he broke him and he ended up with a thing round his wrist all night.
Oh, God. How funny.
I know,
but yeah. I remember it taking to this bar in Barnsley. I can remember it being summer. It was really nice weather, and they did the drag drink for me, didn't they? Where they poured everyone's drink into one, and I had to drink it. And I only managed that because I was gagging, and then James had to finish.
You had to finish it.
He was the best man, didn't he?
It was
horrible, mate.
It was like remember I don't know if you ever remember the gunk tank on bloody Noel's house party.
Yeah, I do.
You were like green custard, wasn't it? It was just, oh God, it was minging.
Ugh. It was horrible. I think there were fag ends in it and lot. It were horrible, awful. But yeah,
I remember. Alex's stag do that ale trail we went on.
Yes.
Remember what happened to him?
Yes, that was sick, mate.
Well, I just couldn't believe what people were doing to that. Because they made him a dreg drink, didn't they? But they were all spitting in it, and it was just, oh my God! I just thought, who does that to a mate?
They're spitting in it, put an egg in it, and then this guy dipped his bell in it.
Yeah.
He's got his dick out and spit his bell in. That was funny, yeah. But Alex downed it.
A bit too far, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was. And they kept popping a 2p in your drink, and you had to down your drink. Do you remember that? Oh dear! But back to that Barnsley stag do. Don't know how it happened, but we started chatting to these girls, didn't we? And they ended up fucking stripping me off, didn't they? Do you remember? That's how you saw me winky. Couldn't believe it.
Oh no! Yeah.
The best thing was,
I can't even remember how it happened. That were in the same pub as well.
Yeah, I'd just like to say this was what do I like to call? This is my ex-wife's stag do, not the one I'm with. So I don't want to get in trouble with this.
No.
Yeah, that was my ex anyway. But the best thing was when these girls blooming pulled my pants down. She must have had her head right next to my hip, and she pulled it down, and it put foundation marks on my boxer shorts. So when I got back from stag do, I know when I got back, I hadn't done anything. I was completely innocent. But when I got back, started getting undressed to get into bed. I noticed blooming foundation. I'm like, I can't explain this. I just can't explain this. So I ended up just throwing them away.
We were all staying at your house.
Oh,
We were all staying at your house that night.
Really?
I think she'd gone out on a hen do same night.
Yeah, she
we
must
were
have
all,
done, yeah.
Me, Cleggy, and everyone were there.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sleeping in your living room, and then I remember waking up. I'd taken my top off at night.
Yeah.
Before I went to bed. And
we had all the same t-shirts on, didn't we? Those blue t-shirts on, light blue t-shirts, stag do t-shirts.
Stag do. I took mine off before I went to sleep, and then at night I felt cold, so I put it back on again in dark. And and the next day, we walked down to shop, which were on the same street as yours, and because it was dark, I'd put it on backwards. And I didn't even realise. So I got to this place. I didn't even notice that I'd got it on backwards.
God, that was
stupid.
Oh God, that was a good night though. I must admit, that was a really good night. I think one of the lads got in trouble though because obviously everyone was taking. This was about 2007, I think. And that's when Facebook had come out and people were taking photos and taking photos on Facebook. But these girls that we met, obviously, they were swapping outfits, weren't they? One of the lads, one of James's mates, that were it. They were swapping clothes with this girl. People were taking photos and stuck them on Facebook, and I think he got in real bother.
Really?
Yeah, because I think he ended up getting off with her as well.
Oh God.
I know the dangers of Facebook.
I know. Do you remember what happened on your Leeds? What did your stag do in Leeds?
Yes.
You and Alex.
Oh God. This now my my second and hopefully my final stag do was in Leeds, and it was absolutely the best night I think we've ever had in it. We started with go-karting, didn't we?
Yeah.
We all met up in Leeds, didn't we? So I had my two brother-in-laws with me. Adam, my cousin, come up, and we all met in Leeds, didn't we? And we'd had a drink. I think we must have gone to a hotel first, had a drink, and so we were a bit tipsy, and then we went go-karting. But then when we got to go-karting, they were like, "Oh, you lads haven't been drinking, so we don't let you drink and drive on this track." And they actually stopped me brother-in-law, Sean, from actually driving because he'd had so much. But anyway, it was brilliant, wasn't it? It was such a laugh. And then we ended up coming back. You dressed me up in a blooming Bruno outfit. Which is a lady housing, isn't it? What they call lady housing. So bright yellow with his hat. Just, there you go, John. I remember you coming into my room, throwing it on bed, going, "There you go, John, put that on."
I did the same thing to Cleggy, because Cleggy's had his stag doing Leeds, didn't he? That Bruno outfit.
Oh God! So I had to walk around, fucking ass out and lot. Oh God!
That's literally hanging out.
Yeah,
I think it only covered like half your ass cheek.
Oh, I know my ass cheek were out, and then we went for a meal. Somebody organised a meal for some reason. I don't know why. But stag do's and meals don't usually go together because you can never work the bill out. But anyway, we went to this posh restaurant, and there's me dressed in a blooming.
Was that the one where we had to go? You went downstairs and you went through an aircraft fuselage or something.
Yeah, we're right, posh. Someone had organised it. I think was it you?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think it was. But this just look. It was a buffet. That were it, or a big Chinese buffet.
Oh yeah, that were it. Yeah.
So I'm walking around with bloody ass, almost burning my ass.
All these families are in there.
All these bloody
families in there.
And there's me with my bloody ass out. I couldn't believe it. That were awkward as hell.
But
and anyway, I was steaming. Well, obviously you are. And then I just saw Alex, and I just saw Alex like that. And for some reason, I ran across the road and rugby tackled him. And then pushed him up against this blooming bus stop, and it went through. The whole thing shattered.
Bloody bus rugby tackled him through a bloody bus stop window.
Oh
The
God, I
whole
couldn't
thing
believe
smashed
it. Yeah, and then
Oh.
we cut ourselves, so we're covered in blood as well. And then we tried to get in Tiger, didn't we?
Don't let you in.
But don't let me in because I was covered in blood and I was just being a dick anyway. I can't remember what I was saying. But we ended up disbanding, didn't we? And I ended up with my brother-in-law freezing my tits off, no money, eating a blooming chicken burger in a phone box. And ended up flagging a taxi down somehow. Still dressed up like I was. And we ended up getting a taxi back. And I paid him in coppers. No money. And I didn't have enough money, so I says, I'll be back in a sec, mate. I'll just go upstairs and get some. I just fell asleep on bed. Oh God, that was a messy weekend, mate. But it was good, mate. It was fantastic.
Mine were in Cardiff, wasn't it?
Remember I know. I remember. We dressed you up as Popeye, didn't we?
Popeye, yeah. Oh,
Did we go to a comedy night as well?
Yeah, to a comedy club.
Yeah.
Went go-karting.
That was
it. I had to organise my own stag do.
Did you? Why?
I don't know. I just did. I just ended up doing it.
Didn't Bruce want? He's almost sick in his own helmet.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
We went down and we stopped at this pub up way there, which had been an old school.
Yeah.
And then we had a drink there because we were going down in convoy. I think we'd lost each other, so we stopped there. And then we went, and then anyway, we got there and we went out on Friday night to kind of suss it out. But we ended up being like biggest night, you know, and like we lost Mark. Remember Mark?
Oh God,
we lost
Mark.
him, didn't we?
Yeah, bless you. I've seen him in years.
Yeah, we lost him. I think he went off for a pee somewhere, and then we kind of lost him. We were looking around for him and stuff like that. We couldn't find him.
Oh God, I'm having flashbacks. Did we end up going into a bar where there was another Hindu? And they were travellers.
Yes. Yeah. And when they left. They
stunk, didn't they?
Yeah. And when they left, when they left, the bar person came around with a load of hairspray.
That was it. Spraying eggs. They stunk, didn't they?
I know.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
I know. And then we went back to the hotel. Because we couldn't find him.
Yeah.
And I just remember, because did you stay in a room with him? You were sharing a room with him?
I think no, sharing one with Ellie.
Oh, were it?
Yeah, because the only reason I blooming remember is because I copped off with that blooming girl, didn't I? This was before. This was when I was single, so I can't get in trouble. But yeah, this blooming.
You were trying to talk that girl into coming back to the hotel here.
Oh, what was I doing? I was like, you know, when you're desperately on pull.
I won't do it to you. It's like, what's the point then? God, come on, come back with me. Come back with me. I won't do it.
I was so confused. It's one of them where I was on one because I was just like, right, I'm gonna get laid tonight, whatever. And I was on one, and like it just, you know, when it just didn't work out, I was talking to some girls, and there's one girl I was talking to, which she was a nice looking lass, but she was just really, I don't know, really hard work, and I just couldn't be arsed with it. And anyway, we're waiting for a taxi outside because it closed. I think this were in Tiger as well in Wales. And I saw this girl like proper out of it, and I was genuinely concerned. I was like, you know, you're right there, love, kind of thing. And she was proper out of it, and my caring side was like, oh, I'll you know drop you off home, whatever, and I'll catch a taxi back to my hotel, whatever. And then she says, "Oh no, can we just go back to your hotel?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I won't do it. It's fine." And anyway, she gets to hotel. Felly was already in bed, so it was quite awkward. And anyway, she kind of just say, look, I'll sleep on the sofa. You can have the bed if you want. It's cool, kind of thing. She's like, no. You can stay in the bed with me, kind of thing. Okay. Next thing she knows, she's blooming stripping all the clothes off and gets in bed with me. And I'm like, oh God, this is awkward. And ended up
Well, it was in morning,
her attacking me.
Was it in morning though?
But it was really awkward because Felly was right next to us. So distracting.
Felly said he had to get up and go into the bathroom or something.
He had to, yeah, because there's a lot of noises going on.
Funny.
That was,
yeah, Mark. I remember it. I remember being in bedroom and I remember this voice getting louder and louder and louder, and it was Mark had managed to find his way back to the hotel,
right?
Complaining, whinging, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe you guys left me. In his Irish accent. I can't believe you guys left me. Because you disappeared. I don't know where you went to, mate. You know. And he didn't know the name of the hotel. All he could tell taxi driver was it's the one with the barrier on the car park. And somehow the guy knew where they were going. But I'm quite worried about him.
Yeah, because I remember your Glenn driving us, didn't he? Drive us back.
We drove there, yeah, and we went out again on the Saturday night, and then we but go-karting with the Saturday morning at like 11 o'clock.
And we were still fucking hungover,
we were all still pissed, and that's why Bruce had to come off early.
Because he was going to be sick in his helmet, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had to come off early because he was going to be sick in his helmet.
Oh, God.
They were going round. Everyone were lapping him, weren't they? Because we were going round so slow.
He was feeling sick.
He had to come off.
Who organised that? Why would you have go-karting a day after you've been out?
Oh, it was funny though,
that was very funny.
It was an endurance.
Me and your Glenn were paired up, weren't we? And I think me and your Glenn won it.
I think
we started
an endurance.
Last. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Oh man.
But me and your Glenn ended up winning.
We went out Saturday night, and then obviously we had to check out in Sunday morning. I remember coming out and looking at my car, and I just said, "Why did we drive?"
Yeah.
Why did we drive here? Because I was no way could I have driven home.
Nah.
I just said to Cleggy, can you drive home? And he drove home. But yeah, oh my God, what a mistake that was.
Good old days of drinking, mate. But now they've brought that thing in now, haven't they, where you got to wait like 12 hours, haven't you, before you can drive a car?
Yeah.
But we're pretty vague before, wasn't it? But now it's a bit clearer. So don't drink and drive, people.
Don't drink and drive.
Do it. Because it's not just you could injure. Imagine ploughing into a child or a family.
Plus, you've got a car full of lads, you know, you've got them to think about. You're in charge.
And their families, so it's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
Mm.
Anyway, but yeah, reflection, Luke. So having a bit of reflection.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and
Whatever
drive.
you do. Obviously, going out with your pals is fun, but it doesn't always end well, does it, Luke? But it don't matter, you know. It's just one of them. You go out and you have good times. You go out and you have a shit night, but you're always friends at the end of it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd always go when I go out. I'd come home and next morning, my mum would be like, "You have a good night then." I said, "Oh yeah, I had a good night." Yeah. Said, "Do you pull?" I can't believe you're asking me that, Mum. Every bloody week she'd ask me that. Did you pull?
And you were like, "No," every time.
No,
never.
Never.
Did she ask you after your stag do as well?
No. No. That was brilliant. No, that stag do. I loved that.
Oh yeah, we're excellent, mate. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
I really did. But if you are quite new to going out and drinking, a bit of advice for you: don't mix your drinks because that'll make you very ill. Talking from experience. And if you want to go out and have a good time but still have a drink, this works for me now. This is what I do: make every third drink a soft drink.
Every third drink,
a soft drink, yeah. You'd be surprised. You still stay pissed, but you don't go over that piss point where you're feeling sick and stuff.
know your limit as well.
Yeah, Well, that helps with that. Is that every third drink, a soft drink? But I do feel sorry. I tell you what I feel sorry for is kids at a Bailey's age that are at like 18 right now who can legally go out and drink, but they're not allowed to. They can't go to the pub. They can't go out because of lockdown.
I don't know.
You really got to feel for them. Plus, even if the lockdown wasn't here, you've got to carry ID around with you because they're really hot on underage drinking.
I know, they should be.
That's why I think our generation got away with it, mate.
Yeah.
The last generation to get away with it. We had the great music, we had underage drinking, and it was probably the best time of my life when I was at college and that.
Well, when you look back on it, you just think how great going out actually was. Every bloody weekend, though, you'd wake up next day, you'd be like, never again. Never
but you
again.
Would because
never doing
you
that
always
again.
would.
And then next Saturday night, you're out again with your mates, aren't you?
It was brilliant. I loved it.
And when I worked at the casino, I was still going out and stuff like that, but not as often. But when I worked at the casino, it was like Saturday nights and Wednesday nights were worst because everybody who were out for a night out, they'd always think that, casino will stay open later, their bar will stay open later, so we'll go and finish off in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The bar and the casino were licensed exactly the same as the rest of them, so the bar had still closed, but they'd come in thinking it were open, and they were in there then. So it was horrible to work in there when all drunk students had come in and stuff like that, thinking they owned place, Like I worked on reception quite a bit as well, and so I had to turn a lot of them away. Who do you think you are? Telling me I'm too drunk to go in there or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you have to be really like firm.
The
worst people to turn away were middle-aged drunk women.
I can imagine.
Like fellas, they'd be like, I can't let you in, mate. Why not? I just feel like you've had a bit too much to drink. And usually 9 times out of 10, yeah, you're probably right, mate. Yeah, thanks a lot. Because all you're doing, you're not just thinking about the people in there and their experience, but you're thinking about like their inhibitions have gone, so you don't want them to kind of waste a load of money. Because
So
you have to think about
protecting them, aren't you?
Exactly. You have to think about the people inside, the staff, the customers, and then obviously think about them as well. But you try and turn away a drunk middle-aged woman, you're in for trouble, man. Who do you think you are telling me I'm too drunk to go in there? And you used to get that all the time. And you'd be just like, well, you're too drunk, you can't go in. And you had to be really firm with them. But you'd get it all the time. They'd always argue back, And I just look, you're not fighting your case very well here.
Yeah.
You'd have to be really firm with them. So, yeah. So I built up a thick skin doing that.
I bet you did.
I quite enjoyed it, actually. I bet
you did. Because you do tend to keep quite calm, you Luke, in stressful situations where I lose it.
But I do like a bit of confrontation.
I know you do.
I enjoy it a bit.
That's why you're a manager now.
Gets me adrenaline going a bit, but yeah. So I used to turn them away, and once they'd gone, I'd turn to my mate, on reception, and there's another one down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd just sit back and watch me.
Would they? So anyway, Luke, next week's episode, I said earlier in the podcast that I think a bullying would be a good one. Because I think we've all experienced a bit of bullying in life, and it kind of does affect you all through your life. So I think it'd be a good one.
We touched on it a bit, didn't we, when we were talking about teachers?
Yeah,
stuff
I think we did. But we didn't go into it. Yeah, we can elaborate it and probably explain why I'm the way I am, and maybe how you are as well. But yeah, as always, please get into touch. What's going on there? Please get in touch. I'm thinking about the rugby. The rugby league starts this month.
Into touch.
Yeah. Get in touch with us. We're available on Twitter, Facebook. You can email us at aimless.yarn@outlook.com. Yeah,
we don't own our own
website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Domain,
you can get hold of us.
Domain. We don't have our own domain yet.
Yeah, yet. Instagram, you can get hold of us on there. DM us. I put pictures on there every now and again, tell you what I've been up to. I advertise some of the episodes as well. And on YouTube, you can see our ugly mugs. And please like and comment and subscribe. Consider subscribing and hitting the subscription button and the bell icon to tell you when the next episode's going to be on. Plugs and info. A really good website if you're thinking about going out and starting socializing and drinking after the lockdown is drinkaware.co.uk. Got some really useful tips on there if you're trying to keep yourself safe, you and your friends, as well as having a good time and not drinking too much. Luke has got his own YouTube channel. You want to tell people about that, Luke?
Lucasfilm. We've talked about filmmaking on the podcast. So if you've listened to that, then go on there. You can see the films that we've been talking about. On that podcast, I talked about the VHS tapes that I had. Now, I borrowed a VHS cassette player, and I've played all my tapes, and none of them have my films on.
What?
So, no, they don't have my films on them.
So why have you got those videos?
I think I thought that they were on there, but there's like Royal Rumbles on there, The Bill, some film, and a lot of other Lost, and a lot of other stuff. A lot of other stuff, but yeah, I'm just so good. Oh my god, I was so good when I did that. So
yeah, it's a bit how I feel when I threw away that old computer with all those recordings on all those fun recordings.
I was looking into buying a gadget to digitize it all onto computer and stuff like that, but alas, it's all gone. Don't know where it is, but it's all gone. It's on some scrap.
At least you managed to get some on YouTube before, anyway, didn't you?
I know, yeah.
It's a bit of saving grace. I've got my own YouTube channel as well. If you're into your motors, it's Carflix, spelled CARFLIX. Some useful info tips on there and reviews, etc. If you're into that, give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe. But for this episode, I think that's it, isn't it, Luke? Going out.
No else to say.
Not else to say. So going out is going out. So as always, thanks ever so much for listening, and please tune into the next episode.
Yeah,
and it's bye from him
and goodbye from him.
That didn't go to plan.
It's completely ripped off, that, isn't it? Anyway,
it is. Completely.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one, guys.
Bye.
See ya.